Oh my gosh. There are a lot of people. Oh, you guys know how much I love landing that spinning hook kick. I bet I could land a spinning hook kick on somebody in self-defense. You know, I've practiced it a lot. I got really good at landing it. The thing is that the opportunities for it would be very, very low in self-defense. Just because, in order to land a spinning hook kick, because of the mechanics of that kick, positioning is so fucking important. And that is the main difference between combat sport and combat for self-defense, is that, like, you do not have the time to get into good position most of the time. It is so much more difficult to do that. And it's because getting into good position, you're so reliant on your other opponent doing things that make sense to do in a fight. And people in self-defense situations, the people you're dealing with, probably don't know how to fight. They know how to assault people. So they're not going to do the things that make sense to do. They're going to be doing weird things. They're going to be doing things that don't make sense. And so you can't rely on your tricks to get into the proper position to deliver your most effective strikes. So, yeah.
Shit! What's his arm?
That's why in self-defense and in weapon combat, weapons that give you range are the most effective. Because the more range you have, the easier it is for you to position yourself in an advantageous position. To where you can, you know, disable the threat, eliminate the threat, or get away from the threat. And what weapon has the best range? A gun. That's the main reason why. That, and, you know, the lethality of using a gun. So, you know, it's that. Whereas something like a knife doesn't give you a ton of range, but if you know what you're doing, it gives you significantly more lethality, so you can still use that to your advantage. But again, it is incredibly difficult to be able to legally and morally justify using a knife in self-defense. And if you can, you're probably good enough with your hands to not need it. Cause... Ah, fuck. So a knife cannot really be justified being used against an unarmed opponent, except for in very specific circumstances, like, you know, you being weak or old, and a guy starts, like, is attacking you, because you're not going to be able to protect yourself in a non-lethal manner when, you know, at a certain point, if you're weak enough or old enough. So it's, you have to use a knife. And hopefully the guy sees that you have a knife and stops on their own, but that's not always a guarantee. So there are going to be times where, like, there's going to be a guy who's just not capable physically of defending themselves without using a weapon like a knife. Whereas if you're below a certain age, if you're going to be using a knife, you know, you need to be good enough at it in order to justify the self-defense. And those cases are rare. They're very rare. It's complicated. It's difficult to talk about, you know, off the cuff like this without, you know, a script for me to what's it called? For me to read off of and organize my thoughts. Because it's a complicated issue.
This is as far as you can go.
Why do they all look like me? This is probably some kind of symbolism. You know, this clearly means something. Is this a dream? Why am I fighting why am I fighting my own reflection? Oh, I love it. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Keep at it, keep at it.
Hey, you!
I'm glad I have this outlet. Like, talks like this, like where I'm able to talk about these things, is a big reason why I like this channel so much, is that I'm just able to, you know, let my thoughts express themselves, because I don't have that outlet in the real world at this point, just because I'm just not in the circles that I used to be in where I could have these kinds of conversations. I'd like to get back into it, but you know, that's gonna take some active effort on my part that I just currently don't have time to do, or there are things that are simply more important to do right now than, you know, to go looking for friends and like-minded individuals, like, you know, my certification training that I'm doing right now. And, you know, irony is, of course, like, well, you're playing video games right now and not looking at that. It's like, yeah, but I only play video games. I only play about, at most, 2 hours a day anymore. Because there's the about an hour that I play for the channel. Every week, and I allow myself an hour to play a video game a day, and that's about it. That's it. So that's literally just like my lunch break, essentially. Because I eat while I study now, and right now the studying is the job. And hopefully, hopefully the studying for the achieving of certifications will land me a high enough paying job in the future where it will afford me the time to work on the other things I want to work on. Oh, you bastard. Motherfucker. Because, yeah, I still have dreams. I'd still like to open that fucking dojo, you know? That's the dream. Dojo's a little strong. It'd be a martial arts gym, because it wouldn't be like a super particular curriculum. My my aspirations, my delusions of grandeur, if you will, would be to do for Taekwondo what like Dutch kickboxing did for karate. You know? Because Taekwondo is my main style. That's what I practiced the most in, and being someone who is doing martial arts with interests in combat, both self-defense and in sport combat, know just how limited Taekwondo is. And I would like to be able to fill in the gaps, if you will. I would like to be able to I would like to be able to to turn it into something more complete. Ooh.
Came to the wrong place, pal.
Oh, yes.
Be careful.
Regrets now?
Nope. I regret nothing because I am a villain. Oh, yeah. Ah, fuck. How are you not dead yet? There we go. Oh, yeah. Parries feel so fucking good in this game, I have to say. I thought that guy was gonna attack. There we go, there we go. Oh! So fucking cool. Oh yeah, oh yeah!
This is as far as you go.
And so what do I mean by fill in the gaps? Well, Taekwondo, especially in its modern context, like they can't punch. They cannot punch. Right now there is a league of full contact Taekwondo with what is essentially a kickboxing rule set. So they are allowed to, you know, punch, they're allowed to clinch, they're allowed to knee, and when they do, it's fucking awful. So there's that. There's also like a lack of clinch work, and clinch work is so important in both combat sports and self-defense. The ability to stand and grapple while standing will take you so far. You know, just being able to do that. Will take you so far, and in Taekwondo, there is clinching, kind of, except instead of grappling, they're just kind of rubbing their tummies together, and then someone eventually either gets pushed off or the ref breaks it up, and then they hope they can land a crescent kick on the way out. And that's all the clinch work there is. There's no real repositioning, there's no cutting of the angle to knock someone down, there's nothing like that. And so Taekwondo in its modern context just is not capable of being a combat sport by itself. And it's like, well, the obvious thing, what did Dutch style kickboxing do? Well, they took karate and then they added stuff from boxing and Muay Thai to it. So that is essentially challenge failed. Oh, motherfuckers. They killed me. That is essentially what I want to do to it. And it's like, well, why Taekwondo? Because Taekwondo's got the cool kicks. It's purely aesthetic reasons that I want to make Taekwondo work. It is not because Taekwondo is any more effective than anything else. It's just, it's got those cool kicks. Being able to land those kicks in a combat sports situation, in a self-defense situation, would be cool, and that is it. So, you know, I would like to do that. And so for me in particular, just because of my anatomy, I have kind of short arms for how tall I am. It would be like my main strategy that has worked for me in kickboxing classes has been to be an outfighter for as long as I can, which means I am using my long legs and kicks to try and keep my opponent at bay. And when they get close, I become an in-the-pocket boxer and a clinch fighter. Now, my clinching sucks. I am terrible at clinching right now, just because I don't do Muay Thai. I've never practiced it really, but that strategy has worked for me against people who are better fighters than me. Straight up, like I had the opportunity to spar someone who had an amateur fight coming up, and they had several amateur fights. So on paper, they were a better fighter than I was, and their primary style was, you know, Muay Thai, and that's the fight they were having. And so we were sparring with a Muay Thai rule set, and for one round, I was nice and just let him get the work in, and for another round, I decided to test myself, and what the strategy I described worked. You know, I kept my distance. I used long side kicks, long round kicks, and a front leg kick, like non-switching front leg attacks, which a lot of Muay Thai fighters do not know how to handle, because in Muay Thai, your kicks are almost exclusively being used as power strikes. That's not true for the best Muay Thai fighters. Like when you look at the people who are the champions of Lumpini and the people who do the best in Muay Thai, they're not only doing power kicks. They are mixing up their kicks and using them not just to, you know, do damage. They're using them to get position. They're using lighter kicks to control their opponent rather than I'm just gonna fucking hit you as hard as I can. However, your average Muay Thai fighter who I was fighting does do that. They're not used to kicks that are difficult to read. And so I would do that. And so he was like, okay, this guy is out kicking me right now. I'm going to do the smart thing and try to fight in the pocket. Well, I had done a few classes of boxing at that point, and so I had an experience of in the pocket fighting. And so I was using that. I wasn't as good as the guy I was fighting in the pocket fighting. And so as soon as I realized that, I clinched up with him. And you would think that the Muay Thai fighter would be better at me than clinching. He wasn't. Somehow. He just wasn't. He wasn't as experienced. And a lot of Western Muay Thai fighters just don't do as much clinch work as Thai Muay Thai fighters. They live and breathe the clinch in Thailand. And so I was able to out clinch fight him, get underhooks. I didn't hip toss him at all, but I managed to hip bump him into the wall or into the ropes, and then, you know, I didn't elbow him or knee him, because that's mean to do in sparring, because it's very difficult to control those. But I went, like, I made it obvious that I could have done that. You know, I like took my arm out and went, elbow or knee. Fuck. Okay. This is hard. Holy fuck. Fuck. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Okay. Shit. Fuck. Too far away. I essentially have to. Fuck! Oh! Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Okay, so what was I talking about? No, it's mean to throw elbows and knees in sparring. Especially when the person has an amateur fight coming up. And so I didn't want to do anything that could potentially injure him. But I made it obvious that from my position, I could have done that. So it's like, this is clearly a strategy that can work. And, fuck, speaking of strategies that can work, I'm going to come back to this one. So it's clearly a strategy that can work, and especially if I actually take the time to practice it more actively, because again, this was just kind of on a whim. I every now and then I just want to spar someone because I haven't in a long time. And so I went to a free class in a MMA gym, took the class, and it's like, and they had open mat sparring at the end of the class. So I participated. Because I had wanted to spar someone. And the thing is, when I say this, if you're doing this, you have to be careful, because it's very easy to like let your ego take control. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking fight I'm gonna fucking fight the best fighter this gym has to offer, and I'm gonna go to fucking war and prove myself. That's not why I wanted to spar. For me, sparring is a learning tool. A very fun learning tool, but it's still a learning tool. So when I spar, my goal is I'm going to learn. And my opponent is going to help teach me, so I can be better at fighting. That's why I spar. That's the only goal I have in sparring. Now, of course, I want to be able to do well. I want to affirm my ego just a little bit and, you know, do a good job. But ultimately, my goal is to learn, and that's why I went to spar. A lot of gyms aren't going to let you do what I did, because most of the time when someone's walking around to quote-unquote spar, they don't actually want to spar. They just want to beat people up. And that's it. That's, again, not my goal. I spar honestly. I spar because I want to improve my fighting ability, and you don't improve your fighting ability by going to wars. You improve your fighting ability with technical sparring. I don't know how I dodged that, considering I didn't do an up dodge, but whatever. And so yeah. Don't do what I did unless you're going to be honest about actually wanting to spar and not just wanting to just beat people up. That's why I didn't like throw elbows or knees, even though I could have, and they would have landed. I just wanted to, I didn't do it, but I made it obvious that I could have.